What's everyone saying? It's your boy Salmonous Flows back again. I'm here today in the south side of Glasgow at West Street Station, and in today's video I'm going to be looking for some clues of Glasgow's cancelled motorway project, and you're joining me.
As I briefly summarised in the video on Glasgow's Bridges to Nowhere, go check that out. Glasgow has an extensive history when it comes to motorways. Basically, a huge number of expressways and motorways were planned for the city following the end of World War II. The main spectacle of the system was to be the Glasgow Inner Ring Road, formed of 4 flanks, the south, east, west and north. If we look at what's been built today, we easily see that quite a bit, the east and part of the south flanks, has yet to, and probably won't be built. However, there are a few relics dotted around the city giving clues to what could have been, and we're going to take a look. Right now I'm here on the south side of Glasgow in Tradeston, a very industrial part of the city, and around here is one of the more infamous relics of Glasgow's cancelled motorway projects. Here we have the ski jumps. Located just off the M8 at Kingston Bridge in Tradeston, these spurs were originally planned to link the west flank, where the M8 motorway currently runs, to the unbuilt south flank. Evidently, the south flank's construction was cancelled in the early 1980s, leaving us with the ski jumps and slip roads we see nowadays. The function of the south flank was eventually fulfilled by the construction of the M74 completion, that big motorway I crossed under at the start of the video. However, due to the downsizing of the plans, no direct link between the M74 completion and Kingston Bridge was added, leading to a very complicated navigation of Tradeston side roads to drive between the two motorways.
Well, what happened there? Damn.
On Google Earth you can easily see the line of the buildings which were to be demolished to make way for the south flank through Tradeston and the Gorbals. Up until recently, large patches of land were left empty in the hopeful anticipation of the motorway plans returning. Guessing it's too late now because numerous housing developments have sprouted up, finally making the most of all that empty space.
Please tell me you can see this. Please tell me you can see this. Why is there snow? Look at the clouds. I'm not even wearing gloves or nothing. Ooh, railway line. So now I'm getting onto one part of Glasgow's motorway network that was gonna be absolutely massive. It was gonna be super chunky. Basically, this side, as I mentioned in the previous part, that would have been the south part of the Inner Ring Road, the south flank. Here we're coming up to salt markets across the river down there. But when you look around here, this area, if the motorway had been built here, it would have all been gone. And just to the east of us as well is Glasgow Green, so when we cross the river we'll see it more on that side. But from here, literally there would have been a big chunky interchange. Oh my days, the junction would have been mad. Like why am I saying it like that? But yeah, like this route that we're about to go on now, this would have been part of the east flank. Well, it would have been the east flank, but yeah, that got canned. People were like, nah, we don't want to see a big chunky motorway down on this side. Like, it's the scale that this would have been on is absolutely mental, and I'll tell you a bit more about that when we get to the bridge.
As you can probably guess, the motorway system was to be built in separate stages, with the north and the west flanks built first due to most of the route there passing through comprehensive development areas that were going to be demolished and modernised following the war due to notable deprivation and slum-like conditions rife in these areas. Shockingly, the west and north flanks weren't actually built to be the main part of the Inner Ring Road. The east flank was planned to have a junction built within Glasgow Green, which would have linked with the motorway system heading down south to the English border. As you can imagine, having a motorway that ran through one of Glasgow's largest green spaces would have hit a sore point with a few of the locals. That, and the visual shock of the west flank's vast destruction of the surrounding landscape led to growing concern.
Initially, the motorway was going to cross while I was over there in Glasgow Green. But of course, it's Glasgow Green. Like, why would you want to put a huge motorway in the middle of Glasgow Green? That would have been preposterous. If that had happened, I would have cried.
It also didn't help that traffic flows on the east flank were planned to dwarf those of the west flank.
Now, I'd say an easy piece of reference to see where the east flank would have gone is to follow the route down High Street, Salt Market, which we're gonna do. We're gonna walk up to the next section, but first I'm gonna have a look here, Glasgow Green. It's been a long time since I've been here, and it's absolutely beautiful weather. Oh, look at that building behind me. Tasty.
Considering this road was basically the centre of Glasgow back in the times before its expansion westwards, if the motorway had been built, many important sites along the route like Glasgow Cross, the Clock Tower and the Market Building would have been either demolished or severely altered.
Imagine this, all of this, including that part of Strathy, probably would not have existed if the motorway had come through this road. And the station as well, High Street.
Walking up High Street, we reach Glasgow Cathedral, which would have been right on the footsteps of the east flank.
You know one thing, if you look at where the road, well the current road is now, that's just over there. But then behind me, you've got the cathedral just here, the necropolis just there, and then this part just being a small part of the Royal Infirmary. So when you deep, like how much of like an impact it would have made here. Like I think they had plans to dig it under the cathedral, do like a cut and cover, but still man, it's actually amazing to see like how stuff would have changed if like the motorway was actually here. But it isn't. Actually no. There's good things and there's bad things of not having the motorway. There were a lot of positives. Let me just put a disclaimer. You see me traveling on public transport and all of that, but I have learned over the last year that if the motorway had been built, there would have been so many positives. But of course, there's the certain negatives that creeped up over the like last 20-30 years. So I'm on the edge. I'm on the fence when it comes to the motorway building, but it's crazy to see how different stuff would have been, like, wow. I don't know if you can hear me, but we're coming up to the third clue of Glasgow's council motorways. And it's one that, one that is not obvious at all unless you've been like driving on the road here. But I found there's an actual spot where you can see down onto the bit here, because we find ourselves here at Town Head. Right in front of me is the Town Head Interchange, one of the most clunkiest interchanges when you look at it from Google Maps, but when you look at it from here, it's not made such an impact as it has that you think it would have when you look at it from like Google Maps or Google Street View. But we're gonna have a look. We're gonna go up on that footbridge there and see what we can find.
Like I said, Town Head Interchange looks like an absolute mess of a place when you look at it from above, but it was actually constructed in a way that it didn't become such a loud nuisance and an eyesore. The relic we'll see here is evidence of the strong intent Glasgow Corporation, the past equivalent to Glasgow City Council, had to build the full motorway system. Heading up this footbridge will let us get a very nice view of this little clue.
Ooh, damn, this is high. And I found it. It's just down there to my left. Ooh. Last thing, make sure you check out that video. And it's just this. It might not look that significant to anyone looking at this, but as you can see where we've just come from, that spur would have left off to Salt Market, High Street, down, which would have been the east flank. You can't really see there's nowhere where you can actually just step and actually look at it. So I'm just here on this bridge. But yeah, that's another one. That's another little artifact. You can check on Google Street View, but that's not as exciting as going up on this bridge. So we're gonna check out the next clue, the next artifact, the next thingy. Let's go.
This final relic takes us down the road towards the north flank onto Dobby's Lane, which runs along the M8. We're here to see where another of Glasgow's council motorways, the Maryhill Motorway, would have split off and headed northwards. the Maryhill Motorway was subject to vehement opposition and cancelled like the many other projects. The motorway would have run through Port Dundas, through Maryhill, along the alignment of the Forth and Clyde Canal to Gilshock Hill, near Somerston Asda, in Cannisburn Toll. It would have massively relieved traffic off of the already busy Maryhill Road and Glasgow Road. As a reminder of its conception, you can find where the junction off of the M8 would have led onto the motorway, and that's what we're here to find.
So this final clue, this final relic, is quite hard to spot from, especially where I am, because there's a road behind me. But as I would have said, the Maryhill Motorway was supposed to be part of the motorway plan, and that would have came off this bit on the north flank of the M8. And let's see, I'll try to show you, I'm going to show you from another side as well, but you would have seen through there, that is where the Maryhill Motorway would have gone through. And by the way, yes, that is a traffic jam. Look at this, look at this, look at that. Okay, it's cleared up now, but as you can see, yeah, like the motorway, so you would have come off either this way and then under and then across, I think. But yeah, that would have gone through to the Maryhill Motorway. So what we're gonna do is gonna try go to the other side and see where we can find it. The one thing to note is that it's easy to see on Google Street View, because once you're on the motorway, there literally is a bit that is cut off, which would have gone onto that bit, onto the Maryhill Motorway. Did I say that right? Maryhill Motorway. But yeah, can't really see it that well from here. But vroom vrooms would have gone all the way down there, through Maryhill, through to I think Somerston, and those places down there up to like Cannisburn Toll. But yeah, it's let's try and get across the motorway onto the other side where it would have gone. So I've now reached the Forth and Clyde Canal, just behind me there. And what would have happened, as you have seen, so what would have happened was, from Dobby's Loan where I was just on there, the motorway would have gone under, and I'm assuming it would have come out and essentially followed the route of the canal up the way through Maryhill and further on. So, oh, beautiful views today, man. Beautiful, man. You know, I should probably do a video walking down the canal, see how far I get. I think I've walked like 10,000 steps so far today, and I'm feeling good. I could do that, but you know, I think we're just gonna have to end the video here. You know, I've gone around Glasgow, shown a bit of, you know, a bit of the history, you know, what could have happened, what could have been, and what's been left now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe as well. I'm gonna make most of this beautiful weather, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you in a bit.